That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot of great action coming up for you on this episode of the. Wait, what the? What is he doing here? What? Get
He's
that
got a
camera
right
off.
to be here, Dave. It's a public mall.
You're watching the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is G, it is N, it is also D. DDJ, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. Our big signing acquisition. I'm so happy. Just kidding. He's not signed at all. I promise.
Not yet.
Not yet. Once we have enough Patreon subscribers, which DDJ is generously one as well, we get enough of that money, folks. Come join us, patreon.com/WNRDP. Mainly because, unlike Shohei Ohtani, I don't have a friend that's taking my money and gambling with it. I just like to drink, so we could always use money for the beer fund. But DDJ, welcome to the broadcast. It's always a pleasure to have you drop by our lovely show.
I appreciate you guys are awesome, and I just appreciate the friendship, the camaraderie, and just the open door policy.
Exactly. It's not a forbidden door; it's an open door, folks.
Right.
So just because we get yelled at if we don't make micro brawler content, it's just something I wanted to point out quick. So we're getting a new Mercedes Moné brawler, and something I noticed because I thought it was just a repaint. It's not a repaint; it's a new mold. She has both hands up in the new one. She's got one hand up here because she means business, big business. So I'm gonna pass on the other one though, just because I don't like the hair. I think it looks terrible. This was cool.
I'm just gonna say this, good on her for going to AEW stuff. But for God's sakes, man, I am so annoyed with that song because I can only stand so much CEO chants. It's just I
hate the dance. The dance is so weird. She looks like the whitest white girl at a wedding trying to dance, and I've seen a lot of them.
True story. I was watching it today with Owen. And he's like really into the alphabet right now, like all anything to do with letters. And he starts wandering around the house going CEO, and then like even all through the whole show, like anytime there was any kind of chant going on at all, it was CEO. So it's over. It's over in the toddler market at least.
But see, my whole thing is I feel like that this CEO chant is over in the same way that Seth Rollins is over with his song, the whoa, and stuff. I just feel like it's the same thing, but I'm way less annoyed by that than I am by the CEO chants.
People love the easiest thing to chant. What? CEO, whoa, people just love to make spasm sounds. That's what this is. And I'm not going to knock it because it's very
me neither. Yeah, and I mean, I agree. It's like it's a way for the the fans to feel like they're part of the show and stuff, and I'm all for that. But just for God's sakes, it is so annoying. I don't know why, but I'm just so annoyed by it. And I'm very rarely annoyed, but I like just about everything.
And I'm not sure, and it could just be like the musician in me. I don't know if they're supposed to be CEO, or if it's supposed to be CEO. Because that's what I'm hearing in the song. But I mean, also, I feel like the audio is kind of been missed with AEW recently. Like, you can't identify the song, hear Excalibur talking, and process what's in front of you. Like, the audio is just, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I was also very cranky and tired last night, too. So, it's a big, and DDJ will let you give your opinion on it, but like I said last week, it's a big deal, Mercedes Moné coming to AEW. My problem behind it is I'm not excited because the AEW women's division, as talented as the roster is, and this goes for AEW's roster overall, the execution isn't there. If it's not the women's world title picture or the TBS title, there's nothing going on with women on that show.
But. No, I 100% agree with you. And it's something that we've, the guys, I got to use saying the guys and stuff because of, and we'll go into that, I'm sure, a little bit later with the changes that have gone on with, my show shooting shit. But it's something that's been talked about for a long time. It's just, yeah, it's like you're still only getting one women's match or, on Dynamite, maybe one on basically one per show. And it's a shame because a lot of people, aren't really paying attention to Ring of Honor, but they're actually doing something with. I feel like the Ring of Honor women's division is being booked way better than the AEW women's division and stuff, and it's a shame because you talked about the talent. You talk about Mercedes Moné. Thunder Rosa's slowly getting back into the thick of things. You got Tony Storm, who's arguably doing the best character work of her entire career. Mariah May, you got, Britt Baker if she comes back. I mean, they've got so much talent, but it's just, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not going to do squat, with what's the point? And it's, again, this goes back to something I've said in the past. I feel like AEW is where WWE was 5 years ago when AEW was starting up, where WWE was just trying to sign everybody to keep them from going to AEW. And I feel like it's like a Freaky Friday body switch thing, and stuff. But yeah, it's a shame because, again, there's so much talent, and it's just when they get a chance to shine, it's great. But it's just, you feel for a lot of those women.
Yeah. And for those of you who follow the Wrestling N.R.D. broadcast on Facebook and you're in these posts, I've clearly chose violence the last several weeks because we've gotten a lot of interaction based off my opinions there. But something that a lot of people say when they compare, like a lot of people like to look at it right now in a vacuum. You look at WWE and you look at AEW. People say like, "Oh, AEW's got the better roster, top to bottom," and arguably, perhaps they do, but again, it comes down to the execution because yes, it's awesome that they have guys like Keith Lee and Miro and women like Ty Valkyrie, like and Athena, but the execution's not there. And also, you mentioned Ring of Honor. Where do they air Ring of Honor? Is that exclusively on YouTube and Honor Club?
Yes,
That's still a thing?
yeah, it's as far as I know, it's still Honor Club, and I'm sure it probably finds its way to YouTube. But yeah,
Okay.
They don't have like a regular TV channel for it. I think it's a way to get people to subscribe to Honor Club. I'll be honest with you, I do subscribe to Honor Club, but it's more for the older stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I can't even tell you the last time I logged in.
So my other thing is this: if Ring of Honor is this asset that it should be and treated as such, I haven't seen one commercial during AEW. Like, and it doesn't even need to be like an official commercial that airs via the Turner Network. Like, it could be an ad during Dynamite. Like, fans, don't forget to join Honor Club and catch all this great action we've got. Like, again, it comes down to the execution like that. This past Wednesday on Dynamite, they had what a lot of people call like a pay-per-view caliber television show with 2 title changes and all these dream matchups, and they announced that they're going to do Ospreay versus Shibata next week on Dynamite. And it's like I'm getting late WCW vibes where it's like, let's just do everything as quick as we can. AEW used to be so good at holding it back and then give you that dream match. They had that Hangman storyline for like 2 years.
Yep.
And now just Okada's been here for 2 weeks, had 2 matches, and he's a champion already. And like, we're not even getting Eddie versus Okada 2. We're getting Pac versus Okada, and most likely a dynasty.
And you know what? I'm actually okay with Pac versus Okada because I think that's going to be a phenomenal match. And I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that we're also on that same show going to get Danielson versus Ospreay, I would say, look for Pac versus Okada to possibly steal the show. But I can't see anything, regardless of what else they end up booking for Dynasty, that's going to be any better than Danielson versus Ospreay.
Yeah. So, I mean, 5 years ago at this point, AEW is far and ahead the more exciting product. And again, it's the new shiny thing.
Yep.
And I get, as also right now, we are at time of recording 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. So like we're in
And they
the
got the
NFL
freaking Rock.
we're in the NFL playoffs in January going against June baseball or like November basketball. Like it's good. It's nothing to really get into just yet, you know.
Right.
But then like MLB baseball is like, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do the All-Star game every day this week. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I just
No,
I hope they know slow it down, AEW. That's all. I love both companies. Just slow it down. Give me more slow builds.
yeah,
Don't lose these women in the shuffle.
it's again, it goes back to my old Freaky Friday count. I feel like that the AEW and WWE have switched bodies because, like I said, I'm enjoying WWE in the way that I enjoyed AEW 5 years ago, and I'm enjoying AEW the way I enjoyed WWE 5 years ago. And that's not a good thing because I really wasn't into WWE that much. I mean, I watched because I watch all wrestling and stuff. And you kind of go back to your comment about the AEW women's division. It just reminds me of back in 2019, that time. You look at all the WWE arguably at that time had probably their deepest roster, ever. But again, they weren't doing anything with a lot of these guys and stuff, and it's a shame because you look at how deep it was, and it's just, yeah. And I think that's why, when AEW came in, and like you said, the whole shiny new toy everybody was excited about and stuff, and it was great for a couple of years, but then it just wore off and the honeymoon period ended, and it's just like, reality slapped them in the face. And I mean, you look at, the supposed attendance issues. I mean, the stuff in the locker room with, Punk and Jack Perry, and then the brawl out, back after, All Out 2022. And it's just, there's so much going on. And it's just like you said, you mentioned the late, the 2000 WCW vibes. Absolutely. Because back in 2000s WCW, and even before that, the inmates were clearly running the asylum then. And that's exactly what we're seeing now with AEW. And it's getting to the point where Tony Khan needs to put on his big boy pants and say, this is my show. This is my, he needs to step up. Otherwise, it's going to go the way of WCW. It's going to go the way of the Dodo Bird.
Well, the one thing I got to disagree with you, and I don't think it's an inmates running the asylum thing here. I think it's Tony is just hell bent on putting out a WrestleMania caliber show every week to an extent. And it's that that sense of competition with him, which competition is good, but at the same time, you're not putting out, the Yankees aren't putting out Garrett Cole every all 162 games,
No, because he's going to get burnt out.
Exactly. And he's already missed the first 2 months of the season. So,
and you can't have WrestleMania. If you have WrestleMania every day, then it's not
a special.
It's just another wrestling show.
And for those of you who don't watch WWE because you're terrible people, it's like having Christmas every day.
It's going to lose its appeal eventually.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on the Christmas comment. If I'm getting a Christmas present every day during the year, I'm okay with that.
You're a parent. You're not allowed to have presents.
You could also,
and just think of your son's toys collecting, and then not getting put away, and then more food. Who's stuffing the turkey? Are you doing ham? Are you doing turkey? DDJ, on Christmas Day, are you a ham or turkey guy?
Actually, neither.
Oh, lasagna guy.
Yes.
Ah, call that. Love a good lasagna. We do lasagna on Christmas Eve at my mom's house.
Oh, my mother-in-law, she doesn't do it as much anymore just because she's getting up there in age and stuff. And I love her to death. And that was one of the things that like I knew when I was dating my wife, and I would go over to my in-laws' house for holiday dinners and stuff like that. Back in the day, my mother-in-law used to just to throw it down in the kitchen and stuff. And yeah, her lasagna was like something that if I knew we were having, I knew I was going to be there, and I would purposely not eat so that I would have more room for that.
That's awesome. But to get us back on topic and to transition just to another topic, we talk about AEW having this overrunning cup of talent that they have that they're not utilizing. Two guys specifically that a lot of people feel they have not utilized well, and then one's contract is up and one's coming up eventually, is the Hardy Boys. And it just so happens that we have a big multi-team tag team ladder match at WrestleMania happening. And Matt Hardy was at Monday Night Raw this past week. taking pictures and signing autographs for people. DDJ, would you be excited if the Hardy Boys show up at WrestleMania 40? And I hope to God I'm not speaking this into existence.
Honestly, at this point, I would be, because I feel like and I'm sure the issues with Jeff Hardy probably had a little something to do with this. But honestly, I don't know how AEW could have dropped the ball so badly with the Hardys. I mean, they had, when Matt debuted as, Broken Matt on, I think it was the first episode during the COVID era when they were doing the empty shows from Daly's place. It was just amazing. Then when Jeff finally showed up, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get this. We're going to get like that one last run of the Hardys and stuff. And it's just, again, it may have had something to do with Jeff's issues and stuff, and which is a shame and stuff. But I don't understand how they fumbled the ball so badly with the Hardys. And I mean, the Hardys deserve one last good run, and I feel like they can get that in the WWE now that this is, Triple H is, and like Vince is gone and has nothing to do with it and stuff. I honestly, I would love it, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like I said, I don't know what when their contracts are up and stuff, but I mean, that would be a really nice surprise. Because again, you think about when they came back when they were at WrestleMania, I think it was 30. Yeah, it was
33.
Yeah. And I remember watching the night before them have this classic ladder match with the Young Bucks with and stuff. And just thinking to myself, like, and then the next day seeing, I'm like, holy shit. Like, and the pop they got. And I mean, the fact that this is at WrestleMania 40, and I feel like they're going to go all out to make this the biggest WrestleMania of all time and possibly the best WrestleMania of all time. Why not throw the Hardys in there one more time and stuff?
Nick, what are your thoughts on the Hardys returning? Because they returned in your state of Florida 7 years ago.
I did not attend that WrestleMania.
I'm just saying. I said it's your state of Florida. I know you went to WrestleMania 20.
We get a lot of wrestling, but it's not really that.
Seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You get WrestleManias like we keep getting Danhausen brawls.
Yeah, like we just had Tampa. I went to 28 in Miami. They've had Orlando and Tampa twice, I guess technically.
Tampa 2 times, baby.
But
one for each Super Bowl, baby.
We got. I think it would be cool. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Hardys don't really have a lot. Like if they come back, I don't know how much of a run they really should give. Maybe give them a little bit, give them like a good farewell thing, and put them in the Hall of Fame next year. Like,
well, here's the thing: what tag team would you want them to face in WWE?
I heard the Dudleys are coming back too.
That is a current WWE tag team that they can put over in WWE.
Ooh, who could they put?
There's not really anybody to do it. I mean, Pretty Deadly would be fun as hell, in my opinion. Because I'd be like, I can just imagine them. Is Jeff gonna get another DUI? Yes, boy.
You know
what?
I
out loud with that. I'm so sorry.
I actually have a team I would love to see a match them with, and I think it would be a classic. And I think that this could be one interesting. I'd like to see the Hardys in DIY.
Okay,
that would be cool. I
can see that. My thought is this, and we all know how I despise Jeff Hardy. I've made it quite well known. I like the Premier Joseph K far more than I like Jeff Hardy, and that's saying something, everyone. But I don't think I think Tony Khan is a smart enough businessman that he knows when WrestleMania is. He is not going to let Jeff out of his contract until like the day after, at least, because he's not going to let because it's that competitive spirit. The good guy in Tony says, like, yeah, if you don't want to be here, that's fine. Mutually part ways, shake hands, have a good one. But I think at the same time, Tony knows that it's WrestleMania season. He knows April 6th and 7th are coming up, and he knows if I let Jeff go, he's going to go with Matt to WWE, and they're going to give WWE a great, memorable moment. I don't want to give WWE that satisfaction. So that's my first, like, that would just kill it right there. Then I mentioned, like, what tag team could they go against? I'm like, WWE doesn't really have a super strong tag team scene. Like, the Usos, but they're too busy fighting each other right now in Civil War. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think maybe you send them to NXT where you do have the benefit of. I think they do like every other show is live, maybe. So
Something like
if
that.
there
Yeah.
are some, and we noticed that, more so in Jeff's matches, he'd go for some moves, and for whatever reason, a mistake happens, they can be edited out. So it makes it
Mhm.
look a little smoother. Because let's be honest, with the style that they wrestle, the age that they're at, and then you throw in Jeff's reliability, a taped broadcast is not a bad idea for them to be on. Um,
And just
and
think of all of what they can do for, everybody down there. Think about what they can do for, the teams down there, like the D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and
love the
Stax
D'Angelos.
Lorenzo. You look at the tag teams like Malik Blade and Idris Faye, just all the tag teams and stuff that like they could do a lot. I mean, look at what the Punk's been doing a lot of work down there, and
Give them
But
a
I think
run to
Matt
the.
at some point, I think Matt at some point did a guest coach at NXT for a while before he signed back to AEW.
You could
Almost
have them
positive.
like, because I think they did it in November, was the Dusty Cup. Have them make a run in the Dusty Cup till like the finals. And, if they win it, great. If they don't, they put another team over in the process. And I think that's the sweet spot for them. You know, I
yeah,
mean, nobody, I mean, they tried the Broken Universe in WWE. It didn't work. They tried the Broken Universe in AEW, and on being the Elite, it was great. I thought the funeral of the drone was one of the greatest. Me and Margaret still quote that segment to this day. Like when Cody's like making a joke, Matt Hardy goes like, "Are you even at a funeral?" Or he's like, "Are you even in the Elite? What are you doing here?" And then Cody goes, "Are you even at a funeral? Dressed like Tommy Bahama."
There was some
So
great ones. There was one. Remember when Chris Jericho was in his hot tub and the drone like attacked him in his hot tub?
yes,
release
yeah.
the dogs. Release the hounds. But yeah, I don't think, especially at this stage in their careers, the nostalgia factor is not there for a Jeff Hardy run or a Matt Hardy run. It is the Hardy boys. They want to see them together.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's what it is at this point. Like, congratulations. They both had their single runs. Matt was peak at Broken Matt in TNA. Jeff had his WWE title run. Get back together and do your thing.
Okay,
They don't have much time.
little bit of a hot take. You mentioned Matt Hardy's solo career. I'm gonna tell you this, and this may shock a lot of people. I actually enjoyed his V1 run more so than I did than the Broken Matt thing. I thought the Broken Matt stuff was cool in TNA Impact, but I think I enjoyed his V1 run back in late 2002, early 2003.
I sensed a little bit of matitude coming from the greater Elgin, Illinois area. Um,
Yep.
and just like the random facts, like Matt Hardy likes to eat mayonnaise with a fork. Like what? Like the most random shit you'd see on the
Mm-hmm.
side. Um, yeah, no. So we'll see what happens with the Hardys and that god awful Matt Hardy brawler that fell so deep in the rankings.
I like the Matt Hardy brawler.
No, it's not good. The Jeff Hardy one's cool. I hate to say it, but it's really cool. Also, speaking of brawlers that you can get right now, the Sean Spears brawler that everyone complained about they wouldn't be able to get is on sale through Cassie Lee's cartel shop or whatnot. And I'm very excited to have bought that. I'm
You can buy the
excited to
chase.
feel the chair. You can buy
You
the
can buy,
chase, yeah.
what is
So
it like 20 for the regular, 40 for the
20 for the
chase?
regular, 40 for the chase. And I think it's, if you want the autograph common, it's 40. And I think it's 60 for the chase autograph, maybe something like that. Now you can get them autographed, but
Patience wins out again in the
I
Michael
mean,
Brawler game. So I always preach.
Yep. Yep.
really does. Folks, just wait. All brawlers will come to the
You'll
surface
get him.
eventually.
You'll get him for what you want to pay. You just gotta wait. It's
Yep.
okay.
Exactly.
Patience.
We're not out here buying thousands of dollars Matt Cardona brawlers. I mean, you might want to because he's got a date with death in the Blue Demon, and I'm talking
Blue
about Blue Cane.
Yes.
Can't wait. The dream match we've all waited, baby. Matt Cardona
Janelle,
is still killing it. How's that man not
He-
gotten stale on the Indies?
he-
It's
he-
incredible.
You know what? Like Matt Cardona is like the like anybody that's working in WWE or AEW who may want a change of scenery or something. They need, if their contract comes up and they decide, you know what, they want to go on the indie scenes, they get released. first thing, if I'm a wrestler, you know, and I was, you know, doing pretty well WWE, AEW, and all of a sudden I got burned out or I got released. First person I'm calling is Matt Cardona, and I'm picking his brain about everything because, like, he's so uber talented. I mean, I know he just recently wrestled for Pro Wrestling Revolver in Iowa, and he got put through a flaming table by Bully Ray in a match I get with Paul Walter Hauser from Cobra Kai fame and stuff. And it's just and it's just he gets it. Like he is like the consummate like pro wrestler, you know, merchandise. I mean, I seen it firsthand when I met him at Starcast. I mean, he's, you know, great with the fans and stuff, but he's selling stuff. And I mean, pretty much everybody that went up to him, not only was getting on, they were getting stuff from him. I mean, I spent quite a bit on him and stuff, but I mean, it's just because I appreciate what he does and stuff. I mean, yeah.
I've said, like, so my local indie Northeast Wrestling show we sponsored last year. He's appearing for a show of theirs in Ohio, and I'm like, damn, I wish he was closer, because like I would buy his merch, but like I know he's at so many indie shows. I'm like, no, I want to wait to buy it directly from him in person, you know, because it's just one of those sort of like I'm waiting and I'm waiting and waiting. A second thing is, I think so. I'm desperate for Matt Cardona to come back to WWE because I want him back in my life. So I was such a big Zack Ryder fan. Two things. I think Matt Cardona could come back in the Rumble, just come in, woo woo woo. He comes in, gets in the ring, and just walks out over the top, and just flips off the crowd and goes back. That would be perfect for him. Similar to like Chelsea, but like nobody touches it. He comes in the ring, eyes down, everyone ready to fuck people up, and then just goes over the top. Fuck all of you. Like that would be so on character for him. And I also want him.
He comes back. Does he come back as Zack Ryder, or does he come back as Matt Cardona?
Oh no, Zack Ryder's dead. R.I.P. homie.
Yeah,
I think
Matt Cardona coming back.
And one of the other things that I really love about him, and I think why he appeals to, you know, the fan base, like you know, around my age group, and I'm about right. I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to transition from my early 40s into my mid 40s. Yeah, basically, I turned 44 in a little less than a month, but his entrances and his gear are patterned after things I grew up on. I mean, you look at the Ghostbusters stuff coming out with the Ecto 1, the whole Indie God thing was Indiana Jones, which I'm a huge fan of both of those film franchises. I can't wait, you know, to get some, hopefully I can get some time in the next couple weeks to go see the new Ghostbusters movie and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's a fan. Like he's basically me as a guy who's actually in really good shape and as a pro wrestler and stuff. Like I see a lot of myself in him, and I think that's another reason why I enjoy his work and I'm a fan of his as much as I am.
He's relatable. He's somebody that
very much
loves all these nerdy things and flips people off. It's like watching a nerdy version of Stone Cold, you know. Like we all wanted to beat the crap out of our boss. Come on. Not now. I love my job. It's great.
He's a friend of the podcast too.
Mr. 100 himself.
You know who else? I got a segue here. You know who else is a friend of the podcast? That's something I'm going to talk about. Buff Bagwell. Did anybody watch
about to say Keith.
Side of the Ring? Buff Bagwell.
I haven't had a chance to yet.
Just finished it today, and the segment they used from our show is fantastic. Just kidding, they didn't.
I love that they had Tom and Butterbean on there to break down the.
I'm disappointed that they don't mention Butterbean in there.
Sorry, dude, I'm not going to spoil much of it, but I just want to talk about one part that he failed to mention during our interview was that the part where the guy came in and his mom was shaving his balls.
I heard.
Like,
I got something that they mentioned on Dark Side that he didn't mention us. So he was on a reality show or whatnot called Gigolos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I knew about that, but I didn't.
Well, here's the thing though. He couldn't get it up for like, I guess he's like with this woman and he can't get it up. So he's doing stuff to make it think he's doing things. And like, I guess afterwards he goes to his director like, "Hey man, I'm sorry I couldn't get it up." And I wasn't actually doing it. And the guy goes, "You're not supposed to." I'm like,
yeah, it was. I had questions about the first episode with Earthquake and why it was the Dark Side of the Ring, but this one came back true form to Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, this one came back true form. And no, I think they ended it perfectly with, because I do believe that Buff has started to turn that corner in his life, turn things around, and they end it on a good note because there are far too many episodes. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's a lot of these episodes end on a sad note. You know, like they ended the Von Erich's like, yeah, I'm just here in Hawaii with my boys and my family, and all my brothers are dead. Whereas, like, here they talk about the story of how Scotty Riggs was fighting depression and was suicidal, and like Buff's like, no, man, it's not it. You come to Georgia, we're gonna get clean together, and like essentially save Scotty Riggs' life. They do play the American Males theme song, which is an absolute banger in my opinion.
Yes, it is. I am with you on that.
Absolute banger. So, also, not to spoil it, but Flash Funk, Too Cold Scorpio, gives the best line in it when they're talking about gigolos. And he's like, yeah, I heard he was on Gigolo. How are we going to be on a show like that with his dick this small?
It was good. I think I haven't seen the newest one. It's like Terry
newest
Gordy.
episode of Gigolos?
No, the episode 3.
Terry Gordy. Yeah, I'm a couple episodes behind, but yeah, the most recent one was Terry Gordy.
I just wanted to bring that up. I just wanted to say something about Buff because he's also a friend of the podcast, and he had a big week for Buff and stuff.
Good episode if you don't know about Buff, but again, nothing mind blowing that I didn't already know.
His mom was shaving his nuts for him. That was kind of blew my mind.
The only thing I didn't know is Buff Bagwell married a woman named Judy.
Yeah, Judy.
So his mom was Judy Bagwell, and his wife is Judy Bagwell.
Wow.
Couldn't do that. I could never marry or date a woman named Terry. So I've got Danielle. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. There you go.
So you got anything else, Nick? You got anything else you need to bring up besides Buff's balls?
Buff's balls.
Judy buffing his balls.
That's a good segue to Buff's balls.
Judy's buffing his balls.
You need to put that on a t-shirt. Buffing his balls.
Buff balls.
Before battle, I take out my little picture of Buff's balls. The troops. Remember he said that he was sending pictures to the troops. The troops were looking at him before they went to.
These guys were writing me letters on how they'd touch my picture before going to war.
This is the real shit.
Battle.
What he said on my
picture. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Every day before I go to work, I touch this. And I think, you know what? Life's gonna get to, you know what? Maybe when I get married, I'll just have this like in some pocket square. I'll just be Buff peeking out.
Top of Buff's head. Yeah, I would 100% do that. That sounds
you need what you need to do for your wedding is all of your groomsmen. You need to find that card and like you said, make that the pocket square. Everybody has it in their little pocket there.
My uncle literally starts the ceremony. You all received a Buff Bagwell trading card at your seats prior to the beginning of the ceremony. Could you all please touch it with your right hand and hold the card to your heart? So we all know that Marcus. Anybody ever goes to jail, please put your hand on the Buff Bagwell card. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear on a stack of Buff Bagwell cards.
Oh man, that's some.
I put my life on this.
Buff's gonna see us and come kill us.
No. That dude's just gonna ask us for money.
We love Buff.
Shohei Ohtani's looking for an interpreter, though. If you know Japanese, Buff, just saying. So, yeah. Sorry to all the Dodger fans out there. Really, not all that sorry, but
that stuff's insane. I mean, because there's first it was that he gave him the money to help cover the debts. Then they were saying that he didn't know anything about it and the guy was stealing from him. Now I'm hearing reports saying that it was actually Shohei doing the gambling and the interpreters. They're trying to get the interpreter to take the fall so Shohei doesn't get in trouble.
You know what I don't understand from this though? I don't know a lot about the situation as much as probably y'all do, but how much money did he just sign for the Dodgers? It was like the most insane amount of money.
700 million. It was 700 million.
And it's deferred. It's all deferred money.
Like, what do you like? Do you really like what? Like, I guess just he's bored or something. It says like why? Like why?
Well, the thing is, and they were talking about this on the Michael K show on ESPN New York, and you can see what happens when Tom's not here. We go into sports tangents.
Yeah, Tom loves
We
sports
we
talk. Welcome to the
like
sports talk broadcast.
they said like he's getting more money in endorsements over the next 10 years than he's getting from the Dodgers. So like
Yeah.
that money's nothing. It's why he can defer that money. Like it's nothing.
Like, why even
Because it
risk it? I don't
is.
understand with all these
Yeah,
athletes. Why?
we all thought Bobby Bonilla Day was something. This is like Shohei Ohtani Day is gonna.
That's what my brother-in-law said. He's like, oh, so happy because I got my brother-in-law, Margaret's husband, is a Mets fan. I got him a Bobby
Yeah.
Bonilla signed card for Christmas. And I was like, we only got a couple of years of this left. Let's enjoy it. He's like, oh, it's gonna be Shohei Day soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, folks, if you don't know what's going on with Shohei Ohtani, just look it up. It's wild. And I'll say this to wrap things up as we wind down here. Hopefully, of all this thing, no matter what happens with the interpreter, Ohtani, we can finally, for fuck's sake, and I will, by the time this airs, I will have been there this past weekend, put Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes,
cowards.
thank you.
He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's put him in the Hall of Fame he belongs in. He gambled as a manager. If he went into the Hall of Fame, it would be as a player. He was a shitty manager. He was an amazing baseball player. Put him in the Hall of Fame, you freaking old dirtbag cloud collecting cowards.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was betting on his team to win.
Yes.
So it's not like he threw the games.
Exactly. He's like, I'm sure we're going to win. So, but yeah, now that I've gone on my tangent, DDJ, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, obviously, again, thanks so much for having me on. We're we still got the show Shooting Shit. And if you don't already know, for a lot of your listeners who may not follow my show, we recently underwent a lot of changes to the show as we're trying to evolve and get our show to the next level in the places where we think it's capable of going. I've decided it was decided, and for me to kind of, I decided to take a little go behind the scenes and basically stick to exclusively producing the show. So, and it's one of those things that when this idea was first presented to me, I wasn't too thrilled with, because talking wrestling is something that I love to do. It's something that I've been doing in some kind of podcast form for basically at this point now about 3.5 years. And it started off as just as a hobby for something for me to do during COVID while I was trying to find work. And it grew into something I got to be very passionate about. And then, when I was lucky enough to do, that one show that we will not talk about, and stuff, where I met, first got into contact with, the hot one, Giovanni Tuhati, who's become a good friend of mine and stuff. And then we went on to do Shooting Shit. It's something that I really got to enjoy doing. But one of the things that I found out that I like doing just as much, if not more, was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, because in the, producing the show. So, kind of trying to keep everybody on track, coming up with the subjects, things like that. But that putting the show together, adding filters and kind of put my own little spin on things. And I got to be really into, create content creation and stuff, and giving me a chance to kind of focus on this a little bit more is actually something that I'm really excited about, because with what I can do behind the scenes and with what, Jovan and Sean and Joey K can do on screen, I mean, it's a win-win combination, and just hopefully that, and it, we see some results. And if not, you know what, it's fun, it's again, but it's kind of freed me up. Like, I can come on this show, I'd plug, the Shooting Shit, and it's kind of opened me up a little bit and stuff. And yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's it might turn out to be a blessing in disguise and stuff. So, but I mean, I'm not on the show. If we ever do any live broadcasts, I'll be on those. I have my own little spin-off show called 5-Star Takes, which is exclusively on the Shooting Shit Facebook page for now. I'm eventually probably going to wind up putting it on YouTube. And it's basically where I come on for about 15-20 minutes, give, my takes on what the guys talked about in the show and stuff, and then just kind of put my own little spin on it and stuff. But it's just kind of presented some opportunities for me to explore some things, for myself, and just kind of better myself at certain things. So, it's like I said, first it's stunk, but now that I kind of starting to see the big picture, you know what? Hey, I'd rather I'd rather be along with my friends for the ride still, in this kind of capacity versus not being involved at all.
Well said, DDJ. So yeah, check out check out their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, their podcast, all that good stuff. Support them all except for Joseph K.
Now support Joey K because he you know what? He may be an asshole, but he's our asshole.
He's our asshole. Yeah, I mean, you did say it's a win-win. So, there's a Silver Wolf, there's, Javon, and, then there's the Sweet Life. But so yes,
yes.
check out. You know I did there. I knew who you were talking about right away. We don't talk about those dirtbags here. One of the people keeping Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame, probably. You cowards! I'm telling you, put Pete Rose up. I got into a Hall of Fame before Pete Rose. That's what's wrong with this country. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, you cowards.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Oh, we got Buff Bagwell on this show before they put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Come on. Buff Bagwell will probably go to the WWE Hall of Fame before Pete Rose goes in the Hall of Fame.
Buff Bagwell better not ever get inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame because he had one match on WWE TV and got fired right away.
Right, one bad match. That's why you'll see it in the dark side episode. But so yes, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Of course, thank you, DDJ, for coming on again. Don't forget, you can support our broadcast here by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/WNRDB. You can buy our t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. And that's nerd spelled NRD. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WNRDB, the Wrestling Nerd broadcast there. And of course, if you want to support us just for free, just by being a friendly person, you can go ahead and click subscribe. Joseph K hasn't even subscribed. So be a better person than Joseph K. Be a better person than the people who won't induct Pete Rose or Buff Bagwell in the Hall of Fame, you cowards. Click subscribe and be a good person. So on behalf of myself, the voice, the future king, DaveCTheVoice, the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter, and of course, the 5-star wrestling trivia machine, Mr. Dennis Day Jr., don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because, like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. And most importantly, like Tom says, hi. Good night, everyone, and God bless America. Cowards, all of them, I tell you.